Good morning. I'm Nicole Klassen. I'm one of the owners of Upscale Detail Co. And I'm here interviewing Jared Klassen, who is the face of the company. I'm kind of behind the scenes. So, Jared, thank you for letting me interview you today.
Thank you, babe.
It's a little weird, I'm going to be honest, just because I don't normally do these. But I kind of wanted to let everybody know the real Jared and a little bit about his personal life and why he wanted to start this business. And so yeah, I just kind of want to get into it. So we have been together for almost 10 years. We have 2 beautiful babies, 2 dogs, amazing family support system. But I just want to have him kind of give you guys why he started this business. And so go ahead and tell me what made you want to start detailing, even though you've been in the Army or now you're out of the Army. But what made you want to start this while you were in the Army? Why Upscale Detail Co?
I think the biggest moving piece of me wanting to start Upscale Detail Co was, one, curiosity, because I got bored at Captain's Careers course, and then secondly, I was planning forward thinking because you were going to nursing school and we were on a fixed income, and I needed some type of other source of income to help out our family to get you through nursing school, because the key thing with me and Nicole is we do everything together, and no matter what, I am going to find a way to help provide for you, and I'm kind of emotional about it, but that's just who I am as a person, and I will always find a way morally and ethically to help take care of our family.
Yeah, which that's something I've always told you that I admire a lot about you, is that you've always put us first, and you have supported me through nursing school, being a stay-at-home mom for 2 years for our kids. And it's funny because whenever you started this company in the back of your truck, it was basically when I was literally almost 9 months pregnant with Jameson.
Yeah.
And you were just so bored that you're like, I just want to start detailing. It just seems fun. It seems satisfying. And I knew you started watching videos and stuff on TikTok, Instagram, and you're like, yeah, this would be fun. So yeah, you literally started it in the back of your truck. And I do remember how I did help you out a little bit. And I was your mom was in town.
Yep.
I was a few months, no, not even a few weeks postpartum. Mm-hmm. And I actually went and helped you detail one night, so you weren't
You remember that
so
van? How bad it was.
Goodness.
There was literally syrup filled to that.
It was so thick on the carpet.
It took us 9 hours just for the interior.
But I definitely realized then how hard of work that this industry is, and just kind of what you were getting into. So with that being my next question is. So what is a common myth about detailing that a lot of people, what you want them to understand, in general with detailing?
So I think there's 3 things that I would like to talk about. The first thing is wax. So a lot of people call us, I just want to wax and buff on my vehicle. And they have this conception that the wax is going to fix their swirl marks. Mm-hmm. And that is far, far from the truth.
Yeah.
Wax is just an artificial filler that will technically fill in your swirl marks. I actually had a customer come in yesterday that said she was doing that, but it keeps coming back. It's like a Band-Aid that you keep ripping off. Mm-hmm. So the only way really to truly resolve that is, one, we would recommend that you would paint correct your vehicle if it's not past the clear coat or catching with a fingernail. Mm-hmm. The second course of action would be reflow, and then if we can't fix it with reflow, we would recommend going to a body shop. And then the other misconception that I would like to talk about is a lot of people think ceramic coating is bulletproof, right? That it's going to stop rock chips, it's fireproof and all this. No, that's not correct. It's just like anything else. You have to maintain it. It's like changing your oil, right? Yeah. And the biggest thing that I want people to understand when they come through our door is that we're going to give you all the resources to maintain your investment, because based off the statistics of our business, people are spending upwards to $1,750 upwards on their investment. And what I would hate if I was a customer is I didn't know what I was buying, and I didn't know how to maintain it properly.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I can say that I've kind of made the mistake on, because we own the business, so I'm like, oh yeah, can kind of get this done on my car, we just do it ourselves. But then knowing that, like, if I don't maintain that, then it's just going to need, to be redone again,
right.
or, so it's definitely important to make sure that if you invest in something, you definitely want to make sure that you
right.
keep it up.
And to kind of add on to that is, if you are getting a ceramic coating, my advice to you is to hand wash it once or twice a month, or have somebody do it, which goes into our membership programs where you can bring it to us once a month. And the next thing is getting a professional to maintenance it. What does that include? That means a reset of the coating, because coatings get clogged with dirt and all these things. So we do a reset wash, which includes an iron decon, a full foam bath, and then we'll put a topper coating on it. Any areas that, let's say that, have failed for some odd reason, we'll fix it.
Right.
And that's my promise to our clients. So their money is worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what is one thing that differentiates Upscale Detail from other businesses? Like, what do you think helps, what do you want the people to know? Like, why is Upscale Detail different from other, people in the same industry, other businesses?
I would say what differentiates us from most businesses is everything that we do has a systematic approach. For example, if a new person comes in here, that new person, at a minimum, is going to be shadowed by an experienced detailer for 90 days. And they're going to learn our systems and processes. This is something that I've learned in the Army, and it is the most important thing for your business. If you do not have an SOP for your business, you are miserably going to fail.
Yeah.
Because how can you expect somebody in your organization to learn something if they don't have something to look at?
Right.
And that goes on to hands-on training. Hands-on training is the best way to get somebody to learn. And then going into the customer relationship, it kind of goes back to our last question, is I will sit with a customer, my team will sit with a customer, I don't care how long it is, because I want you to walk out the door and understand exactly what you're getting. Yeah. I'll give you an example yesterday. We had a client that came in, she just wanted a paint correction of the 4 door panels because she took a Brillo pad to her door trying to get off tar. So she called back because she didn't fully understand, and I'm glad she called back because I want her to understand fully the service that she's getting.
Yeah.
And that's just an example of that.
Yeah, that's great. I do know, and just being kind of on the back end and seeing customers come in, and they always just want to thank you for your customer service, your transparency. And I do think that's one of the main things that sticks out about our business, is that everybody in the organization, you, Ryan, Caitlin, Andrew, everybody is super transparent when it comes to what you're doing on their vehicles, because people obviously invest so much money into vehicles nowadays because, vehicles are so expensive. That they they want to know what is being done with that. So I think that's super important.
And I think one last thing is our business was founded on going to training.
Yeah.
Who am I to say that I'm a professional if I haven't been certified by a professional?
Right.
Yes, there are great people in the industry that have learned by themselves. A certification doesn't say, oh, I'm the best in the industry. No, it just says that you have gone through some sort of validation for yourself. For example, Hexus paint protection film. You don't just pass that certification. I know guys that have gone through that multiple times, like 9 times, and still haven't gotten certified. Ryan went through the hands-on training, and he's waiting to go take the hands-on test. He's getting there. He's almost there, but paint protection film can take people years to master.
Right.
And
there's always room for improvement.
There's always room to master your craft, but I think the key thing is going and being with better people. Because, there's always somebody better than you, and that's something that I've learned in the Army. You think you are the best, but you go somewhere at a different area or a different location, that guy is going to be way better than you. And that's the people I want to be around. I don't want to be the best. I want to be average, because if I'm around higher performers, it's going to make me and the business better.
To be at that same level.
Yes.
Yeah, totally. Which I don't know if a lot of your followers know this, but you went to business school.
Yes.
You graduated from the University of Central Missouri.
Go Mules!
And you have your business degree. You did create, while we were in Fort Polk, you did create some businesses that ultimately did not make it. But I've known that you've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, but let's tell everybody who's watching, why did you want to be an entrepreneur? What made you want to go that route? Even with the Army, that still was the one thing that you wanted to do over being in the Army.
So I think the whole reason behind wanting to be an entrepreneur is the freedom that it offers. Yes, you're going to work longer than anybody else, but at the end of the day, if you have a good team and you're the least important person in your business, you can step out and go take care of things that matter, i.e. your family. And I want that in our organization as well, that our team, if something bad happens with their family, I can step in and I can provide that service to them. But really what it really comes down to is I got sick and tired of the bureaucracy of corporates and the military. And I think the reason why is and I want to say this because the military was a great experience for me, but there is very toxic leaders in the military that have gotten promoted. And the sad thing about that is those people are in leadership positions that shouldn't be in positions. And I think I just got sick of it, and I said, you know what, I'm tired of working for people that don't care about people. People are your lifeline. If you don't treat your people right, you're not going to have a good organization.
And it's not even just the Army that's like that.
It's
so many
everywhere.
Multiple organizations that they just look at numbers and not necessarily who's actually working for them and stuff. So yeah, I understand that's unfortunately going to be everywhere. But yeah, you've always talked about wanting to do your own thing, to be your own boss, to really make a difference, and it really be kind of like the start. You built the foundation, and you've watched this business grow tremendously over almost 3 years. So it's been great so far.
It has, and I'm extremely grateful. And I will say to our audience, we're just getting started. This is the bare minimum of what this business is going to do. I'm serious. This business is going to explode, and it's going to be all over the United States one day. That's my vision for the company. And it's going to take a lot of hard work, and it's not going to happen overnight. And, I know that I'm going to fail multiple times, but that's okay. And the thing that I've learned about business is you learn from your failures and you get better and you get mentors. The great thing about this business that I love is I am surrounded by people that are better than me, like my clients. A lot of my clients are very, very successful entrepreneurs, but smart, intelligent people, I want to be around. For example, Dr. Cooper, he owns Chai Medical Group. I had the privilege of going to speak with him on Sunday about, some advice that I needed to get, because he's experienced that. He's gone through those trials and errors because he owns franchises and he owns a massive business in Phoenix City. So just reaching out to people and asking is, I think, takes a lot of courage. And
it does.
I think that's my job as the owner of the company, is to create the vision for the people that are in it, and to show them that this is the potential that this company can go towards.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's great. So getting more personal now.
Okay.
We always talk about the business, and everybody always knows about things that are going on in the business, but I kind of want the people to know about you. So what are a few things that you like to do outside of Upscale Detail Co?
So the things I love to do, and it's something that I've kind of put on the back burner for a while, is I love hunting. I love going to Arkansas and hunting ducks.
Yeah.
I love the duck camp. That's like, that and the lake are my heaven on earth. I love the lake. My dream for my life is, when I know I've made it, is when I have a Malibu wakeboarding boat and I have a lake house on Lake Washita. That's my dream. Yeah. And when I reach that goal, I know that I've made
Which
it.
if nobody has ever been to Lake Washita, it's outside of Hot Springs.
It's so beautiful.
It is literally one of the most cleanest lakes, and Jared knows that I grew up in Kansas City. So the lakes around me were very dirty. I was like, that's not my cup of tea. I'll just swim in a pool. Did not grow up on the lake at all. But Lake Washita is literally one of the most beautiful lakes that you could ever go to. And it's I think it's owned by like the government now, isn't it? So
yes.
It's regulated. It's very clean. They don't allow like a lot of houses to be over there now. So yeah, I mean, it's honestly amazing. Definitely check it out. Arkansas is absolutely beautiful. It's a beautiful state. There's so much to do. That's eventually going to be our home the next couple of years, so we're super excited to head back home. But also, what else? And it's funny that you mentioned hunting, because I've been hunting with you twice, and it's definitely something I did not grow up doing. I mean, obviously I'm very bad at it. Because we went deer hunting. We went deer hunting, and I was in the stand and saw a deer right in front of me, and I missed it. And I think that it was meant to be. I'm not made to be a hunter, so it freaked me out a little bit. But it's very serene. So I definitely understand that's what you love to do.
And one of the biggest things I like to do is be with my kids and you. And I like doing that when we go on vacations. Like the vacation that we went on to the Bahamas was amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely that's where we got engaged forever ago, so it was definitely nice going back, and it was our first time back since then. But yeah, so my next question for you is, what have you learned in this business to help you become a better person in your personal life? So not in the business, but in your personal life. Like, what has this business taught you?
I really think what this business has taught me is humility. At the end of the day, as a leader of the company, the thing that you really have to look at is, are your people taken care of? And sometimes you have to suck it up and take care of them before you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And it can be hard. And there's always going to be disagreements in any organization, but the key thing is like coming together as a team to really reach what the goal is and the vision of the company. And that's what truly matters. Your personal opinions don't matter in an organization. It just doesn't.
Right.
Like what truly matters is, are everybody on the team going for the same goal?
Yeah.
And that's really what I've learned most. And the next thing I would say is failure. You kind of mentioned it before. I I had other businesses before this, and I failed miserably. And the reason I failed is because I just wasn't experienced. Mm-hmm. And, but I learned from my mistakes. I wrote them down. I'm like, okay, what is the biggest thing that this company that I had is suffering from? And it was marketing. Marketing is the most important thing for a business, because without marketing, you don't have sales. And if you're not good at sales, you're never going to have a business.
Yeah.
If you're not good at creating relationships, meaningful relationships, a sale doesn't mean that you're selling something. A sale means that you are creating a meaningful relationship with a client. And something that I'm super grateful for is a lot of our clients have become our good friends. Mm-hmm. We've been able to take some of them to church, and minister to them and, actually create a meaningful relationship. It's not always a transactional, like, oh, I'm going to take your money. You're a part of my business. No, it's not about that. It's creating relationships. Yeah. And when you understand that, and that's something that I think I didn't understand when I first started my businesses, is I was just wanting money. But
you were also like a one-man show with your other businesses.
Yes, so I understand that, but like the key thing was the relationship. Mm-hmm. When you don't worry about the money aspect, you worry about the relationship, money will follow, and it's true. And a lot of the books I've read, a lot of the mentors that I've had have taught me that, mm-hmm. and it's really truly paid off.
Yeah. So my last question for you is, somebody who is wanting to start their own business, not necessarily detailing in general, but just somebody who's wanting to take that next step, what is the one piece of advice that you would give them?
I think the one piece of advice I would give them is, the first thing is take action. If you don't move your foot forward and you don't put in the sweat equity, mm-hmm. and you don't put in the hard work, it's never going to happen. You can have this great idea, but if you don't action it, if you don't implement it, and boom, 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 never will happen.
One foot in front of the other.
Yeah, it kind of goes into like, hey, I want to get physically fit, but if I'm not going to the gym and I'm not eating right, you're never going to see the results.
Right.
And it's the same thing with business. And I would say also, before you get into business, you need to find the person that is very successful in that line of industry, mm-hmm. and you need to ask the question, would you mind helping me?
Yeah.
And most successful entrepreneurs will help you.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because most reasons why people get into business, it's not about the money, it's about creating a legacy for themselves and creating relationships and seeing a young kid that didn't have anything become somebody amazing.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about.
Yeah.
So,
but you've definitely grown from the person that you grew up, being, and going, kind of not going down the right path when you were in high school, and you were just struggling a lot. You went through a lot growing up with your childhood and stuff, and you definitely, I'm sure, back then, if your older self now told you this is what you'd be doing, you would say, I don't think so. The Army life's for me. Retirement all the way, like I'm going to do the full 20. But no, you definitely are somebody who, being an entrepreneur is definitely in your blood. It's definitely something that I've just known about you for 10 years that we've been together. And so I'm super proud of you for everything that you've done. And it's funny because you're always one, like you said, and that's a good piece of advice to give, is to take action and take the risk, because I'm always the one that's trying to say, ooh, I don't know. I'm not one that likes to take a lot of risk. But you're just like, let's just go for it. And I trust your gut. And so far it's the best
decisions I've ever made in my life are with my gut, The ones that have not gone so well are the analytical ones.
Yeah, I mean, some of them.
Some have been analytical, but you got to trust your gut and you got to trust your instinct.
Yes.
Because your mind is very powerful, and if you get it in your mind that you're going to do it, you're most likely going to do it.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, thank you for sitting down with me.
Thank you for interviewing me. It was
I'm
a
very
pleasure.
happy that I was able to do this, and I've been wanting to do it for a while, but just my busy schedule and wanting to take that step is. But I'm glad I was able to do it for you.
And before we get off here, I'm super proud of you for everything that you've done. If you guys are ever having, a baby, Nicole is an amazing labor and delivery nurse, and she is extremely good at her job, and she's doing her passion, and we worked really, really hard to get her through nursing school, and she's finally there.
Finally been done.
Yep, and she didn't quit, and that was the key thing. She failed her second semester, right? Or her first semester, and
Thank you for letting the world know that.
It's okay, but this is a lesson.
I know.
It's okay to fail, and it's okay to do that. But the key thing is don't give up on your dream, because if you give up on your dream, then you create this mindset that you just quit the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And that's one thing before I get off on this show. My mom, she's a very strong woman, and she's coming this week. I'm super excited. I played football in high school, and I was very small because I wrestled at 138. I wasn't at my full potential, and the coaches had guaranteed my senior year that I would start. And I didn't start my senior year. And I was like, I'm going to quit, Mom. I'm done. I've put so much effort into this sport. I show up every day. I do everything. And she's like, Jared, she said, if you quit now, you'll quit the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And that has stuck with me for my whole life. Like, I try not to quit. Now, if I'm struggling with something like a skill, I'll take a step back and I'll evaluate how I can get better at it. Mm-hmm. So if you failed at something miserably, that's okay. Maybe you just need to look at it a different approach and get somebody that's really good that matches your energy that'll help you get through it. Well,
your mom's an amazing woman.
Yeah, she is.
So she's definitely giving you such great advice. She's always been there for you.
Yeah, my mom is, I would say, my mom and my Uncle Jack are the reason that I am where I am today. Mm-hmm. And kind of what you were talking about before, like I was a very troubled kid in high school. My parents divorced. My dad was abusive. And, I had to take care of my mom when I was literally 13 years old. I gave her all the money that I had because she couldn't pay rent. And then I had a job when I was like 14 years old. I've been working since then. But the key thing that I would say that has set me apart from other people is that, for one, I forgave everybody that hurt me by the grace of God. And then secondly, I had the mindset that no matter what, I'm going to get through it. And, even in the military, I had a lot of failures. I almost got kicked out of the military one time because I couldn't pass some training. But that, what Jack and my mom taught me is don't quit. Mm-hmm. And I didn't quit, and I passed with flying colors. And it was because I had a medical condition. Yeah. And I couldn't help that. I was in physically fit shape. I was a collegiate athlete, but I just wasn't adapted to the Georgia heat. Right. But that's what separates me from people. I've been able to move on and let go of things that were pulling me down in my past. Yeah. And the thing that I refuse to do is had negativity in my life. Mm-hmm. If you're negative, I don't want you in my life. Right. Because positive people create positive results, and they push you forward to the next goal. Right. All right. Love you.
Love you. Thank you, guys.